their way back from that terrible loss yesterday. We've kind of been struggling to find the correct combinations, especially up the order. Just one or two guys have struggled. Just struggled to cement, especially the opening spot. And also the middle order batsman, number 6, 5, 6. How big is the gap? Is it realistic that you perform here at South African A level, you score runs, you score the hundreds, that you can step up and just still continue with the form that you're in and still, you know, have some sort of success at that level?
Dot ball. Ends the over, 45 for 3. Four runs from Tampy's first over, 2 for 17. Superb opening spell from Kaul. So one would think those two openers will be used, probably another 2 in the mid-innings and probably another 2 at the death. Looks like there's going to be another change out in the middle. Vijay Shankar, 26 years old, 34 matches as well. There's a new pavilion just to the right of the sight screen. Wonderful structure that's been put up here at the Tuks Oval. The net area on the left-hand side, down to third man. That's the prime net area for the High Performance Academy, National Academy, as well as the A side. It's really the hub, isn't it? This is where it all goes down. Oh, that's a proper loosener, that one. That looked like a stiff delivery.
Stiff delivery it is. Not quite hitting his straps. But yes, this is where the best in the country get groomed. They all come here. National Academy is here. Beautiful facilities. Spend 4 months, 5+ months here.
Oh, that one's gone awry again. Zondo must be thinking, where's the next one going? Not the easiest to face up to some of this. He'll roll up now and bowl a Jaffa. Cricket's a crazy animal. At the moment, he's having a tough time here. I've got 2 really good spinners. Axar, Patel, they got Chahal, and I don't really want to use them just yet. The seamers have been productive. Oh, he smashed that. On your point about the domestic structure and stepping up to the national side, I suppose you had to look at that statistics we saw from the batting lineup. I suppose you can have a look at that. Oh, there we go. That's a bit of shape, but better from the bowler. But if you look at those statistics we saw from the batsmen in the side, a lot of them are early 30s, mid 30s, and we want our guys to step up and play ODI cricket, but I really would love to see guys getting 40, 45 average in those sort of regions from domestic cricket. And in domestic cricket, the last year or two, we've been seeing much bigger scores being posted. Always let that one go past. Good delivery again. But the 2020 introduction of that into the 50-over game has had an impact in the scores. We can see that Champions Trophy, huge scores being posted, 350s in those regions there, and that's 300 is almost a par score these days. So with that, that's even more the point of we'd like to see especially our specialist batsmen averaging over 40 in the 50 over format. Get yourself in, go big. Oh, he's moved across and he's worked that leg side. Stepped a long way across there.
Yeah, it just shows where Shankar is looking to bowl. Clearly looking to be very disciplined outside that off stump. Hence Farhan wants to pull some maneuver. It's way outside off stump. It is stood still, probably could have cut that.
Zondo letting it go through his boulder. Very wide line, just inside the wide line so far. A couple of wides conceded. Zondo just occupying at the moment, trying to absorb a little bit of pressure. Run hard, rotate the strike well. He's the skipper. He needs to get this back on track. Oh, Fuller, bit of shape again. Still some swing on offer here.
That will conclude the 14th over. South Africa A, 50 for 3. Rebuilding stages. 9 down, and Klaasen departed. The score was 32. So falling in clusters, the wickets. Not quite the momentum that they needed at the time. Junior Dala coming from these parts of the country as well, plays for the Titans. Just getting back to that point that we're talking about the gap between South Africa A and the national team. I think as well, it is quite important when you do make your debut, where you get chosen to make your debut. Now South Africa is going to play Bangladesh in Potchefstroom. Kind of different conditions to the English conditions, aren't they?
Yep, I agree with you there. Stand and deliver, and he's beaten him. Zondo's got it through, breaking the shackles for South Africa A.
He is overpitched on that occasion. A rare full ball from Tempe. No feet there for Kaya Zondo. Just trusting his hands to go through the line of the ball.
It stayed down a touch. Hasn't really got much shape away at the moment. That one just kept angling in as Zondo motions to his partner.
Being very watchful, these two. Betting well outside off stump. Feet are nowhere though. And I guess players have different tactics and different sort of conditions. Maybe these are the conditions that Kaya Zondo prefers, where there's not a lot of sideways movement.
Oh, Zondo edged it down to third man. He's got to run hard. For that last delivery, Zondo just took up position just outside the off stump. So he's trying to get in the bowler's channel, trying to knock him off his game, but at the moment, it's a good piece of bowling. Steep bounce. Total contrast to the previous ball. Well bowled, Basil. Good piece of bowling. Two opening bowlers are quite alike in how they bowled and got some outswings. Bowler Basil Tempe, he's got a bit of a lower arm action. He's slingy. They don't want to let themselves down here from Indian A perspective. They've got off to such a good start. I'd be pretty disappointed if they let this partnership develop easily. Really want to keep the fielders in the ring involved in the game. Don't give too many freebies. That'll be at the top of their mind right now. And South Africa, on the other hand, just trying to rebuild, get some momentum back into the innings.
Absolutely. I think the mindset that Zondo, being the captain, betting with Farhan, the experience is rebuild. Let's bet deep. Short ball pulled. It's going to be cut off. Good fielding at the deep Equasquelic boundary. They're going to come back for 2.
First real shot of authority. Saw Zondo hit a beautiful cover drive last over. And this time, on the one leg, beautifully pulled through square leg. Chahal of RPL fame. Good effort. Brilliant.
Yes, the Indian fielding has been impressive this tournament. Thrown themselves all over this field.
Pulled again and it's gone fine. Good slide and release. Brilliant piece of fielding. Saved a couple of runs last 2 balls. End of the 15th over, 59 for 3.
Biggest over of the innings thus far. 10 runs to the over. We'll need a lot more of these, the South African batting side. Just need to run hard and be very watchful, making sure you're putting away anything that is slightly loose.
I've seen a lot more of those type of deliveries since the opening bowlers departed. Short, wide, giving the batsman some width. Shankar does look like a part-timer, all due respects. Compared to the first 2 bowlers we saw were very well disciplined, got some good away swing. And you always wonder, what is their fast bowling depth? We know the national side in India got some guys with some express pace. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar as well. That's a better delivery. Quick single on the splice of the bat, and they've gone through for a quick single.
That's good running. Farhan wanting to get down to the striker's side. Also just realizing that if we're not scoring the boundaries, we've got to be looking to be running at every occasion that we can possibly have. Just to disrupt the momentum of the Indian bowlers, just to distract their plans.
Shot on the up, good length. Back onto the fast bowling resources. None of the real opening pair really were express. More the type of swing bowler, hit some good areas. It's always good to see the fast bowling reserves of a country where they're at. Oh, jeepers. For a second, I thought they went through him. Bottom of the bat, through for another quick single.
Did well Farhan Bardeen to get his bat down on time there. Good Yorker delivery. But as you just said, he doesn't have the pace to actually penetrate his defenses. But very good bowling on that occasion. Yeah, a couple of days back, this is how India started actually when they won the toss. The second game they played against South Africa and stuck South Africa into bat. They quickly struck early, and it took an innings from Klaasen to get South Africa out of the mess they were in. Ended up scoring 127, which was magnificent.
The less said about that, the better. Just a couple I got away from him, and It was wide in the first place, so they kept on swinging. That's where he wants to be.
You know, one of the questions I asked earlier on is, once you get sent into bat into this sort of pitch, because second time now South Africa's been sent into bat, do they have a total in mind? Because the third game on this pitch has pretty much behaved similar to the way it behaved when they played together, these two. Would they have a total in mind?
Into the 16th over, 62 for 3. That's the sort of length got to be hitting to a player like Zonda. He's not the tallest, so he doesn't get a huge stride out, so get it up there, try and hit off stump. As you say, there's been a little bit of assistance from the bowlers' point of view, bit of swing, maybe a touch too paced, but as the day develops, becomes the N1. And that's what India will be hoping for later on. Roll drive it, right to screen, the wall, the legend. What a player. To have him in this setup in the under-19s must be, what a pleasure that must be. He stood down from his RPL jobs and he's taken up this time taken up this role full time for 2 years, he mentioned. Obviously there was a bit of talk in the press about a clash, being in an RPL setup and then being in this setup, so they want some clarity and they want him to be here full time now. And he's put his hand up, he wants to be there. This morning coming to the ground, Herschel Gibbs, he's around as well. He's been working with our youngsters. Jonty Rose not too long ago as well was here, the National Academy, and that's what we need, the legends of our game. Feeding off them. Yes, no.
No, it's absolutely great for the game to have such names being in the dressing room of the youngsters, the future of their respective countries. Genius player Rahul Dravid was back in his day, in his playing day. And South Africa A has also got Herschel Gibbs, who was a genius in his own right. For South Africa, opened for a lot of years.
Just nudged. Gee, I'll tell you what, Herschel, he is looking fit and strong. He always has done though, to be honest. He's fit, strong, multi-talented guy in all sports. In full flow, who will ever forget the Wanderers? I certainly won't.
Just a player who just made the game look easy up the order, played his strokes, and had a very good understanding, batting partnership with Graham Smith. Nicely done by Zondo. So imagine the influence that the likes of Herschel Gibbs have in the changing room with the batsmen Zondo, Farhan, Riza. What a way to learn.
Think of similarities. I think Henry David, he's got a bit of that X factor about him, but a la Herschel. Pleasure to watch, and he deposits the ball at will where he wants. We've seen that for the last couple of years at Centurion. Wonderful stadium for cricket, that one. Tell you what, I'll have to bat there every day of the week. Short pulled. And that's a good shot. He's put it away behind square for 4.
It's a great shot there from Fahad Bardeen. Picked it up quickly and realized that the deep backward square leg was a touch in front. Rocks back and he's quickly on it. Hitting this one way behind the deep backward square leg for 4 runs.
For the first time above 4 and over. So this partnership's been a good one. 36, 53 deliveries, absorbed a bit of early pressure. Boundaries are starting to come along now for both batsmen.
That single over there will finish the over. South Africa A 69 for 3 after 17 overs. A lot of teamwork will be needed. First partnership only lasting for 31 balls, 22 from Reza and Henry Davids. Not much came between Klaasen, Davids, and Zondo and Klaasen. But this is the most important one, I feel. The captain and the experience of Farhan Bardeen. It sits on 37 after 54 balls. I just feel that they've weathered the storm of the good Indian bowling.
Doesn't look like great pace, but it looks like he bowls a heavy ball. That last one just nipped back, hit the splice pretty hard. Not much pace to speak of.
Good areas, not complicated. Forces Farhan to meet it halfway. Can't do much about it.
Talking about Bardeen earlier, this is a time right now he must relish. Take control. Get his team to a really healthy big total here. And he's got plenty of time here to get himself in. 32.5 overs worth, and once he's in, we know how destructive he can be.
Yeah, we spoke about his ability to finish off games, especially for South Africa. But he does a similar job for the Titans. So he's very familiar coming in early. But he's just a fantastic player, finishing off games, chasing especially. Just the ability to manage his innings and finish them off.
Just picking the fielders out to touch. He's hit some lovely shots on the offside. I really like to see Farhan really play with that belief we see in that domestic game when it comes onto the international stage. He's got such confidence and he's got so much flair. That's what you want to see when it comes out to those ODI type fixtures. Express yourself, show us what you got. He's got bucket loads of talent. Beautifully whipped, wide of mid on, got a bit of work to do.
Over quick.
I think consistency has been the key for Farhan. He's been around and he's done consistency has been the key for Farhan. Different sort of task here. He's been around and he's he just needs to bat. He just needs to bat with his captain to post a respectable score. That'll bring the end to the 18th over. To the 18th over. South Africa 70 for 3. 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 70 for and a change in commentary here for the next 30 minutes. The experience of Brett Proctor and the youth of Kruger van Wyk.
Projections. Run a ball 260. I think South Africa A would call time on the innings if you gave them 260 from here. 8 and over, that's optimistic thinking from this juncture, but 70 for 3 is somewhat of a recovery from 32 for 3. It's taken its time, and it's important that the skipper and his senior pro, Fine Bayardine, just continue to prosper. How they're doing. They've constructed this partnership pretty well. They've not looked for boundaries. They've run between the wickets very well. And the change bowlers haven't been quite as effective as Messrs. Thakur and Kaul, who were with the new ball. Herschel Gibbs, genius with the bat, now imparting his knowledge to the South African A upper order. He's consulting from a batting perspective. Worthwhile cricketing mind to have for these young chargers. By the same token, to have as your coach the India A side, Rahul Dravid, one of the legends of the world game, not only the Indian game, the wall. If there's any man who could construct an innings, it would be he. Few better. He's up there obviously with the Tendulkars, the Laras, the Callises, the Pontings of this world. Sangakkara runs at the highest level in number. So the players have enjoyed a drinks break, and at 70 for 3, South Africa would probably go business as usual. And then when I say that, I talk of the last 45 minutes to an hour. India are introducing some spin. Slow left arm, Axar Patel, handy career. And just to see if there's a little bit of purchase in this surface to try and, with a change of pace, disrupt a partnership that is starting to become threatening. Kept a slip in, which would just suggest that the Indians, having played a number of games on the surface in this tri-series, see that there's early turn.
Yes, an important phase, this middle phase where rotation becomes really important, where your slower bowlers are introduced into the attack. It's nice to see them keep that slip in.
Nicely turned away to the onside. This will be South Africa's approach. They won't look to attack Axar Patel. They'll just look to pick off the ones as they still regroup after the early loss in the power play of 32 for 3. It's important that they can build a platform for the Milders and the Pretoriuses to play attacking games later on.
It's between Axar Patel, Yuzvendra, Chahal. It's a huge strength of this Indian bowling attack and how they control the middle period.
Been a mature approach by the increasingly impressive skipper Kaya Zondo. He's had a couple of good seasons for the Dolphins, and trusted with the captaincy now, has warmed to that responsibility. Nicely down the ground from Bayardine.
Yeah, Zondo has looked in very good form throughout this series. He got a really good 60 finishing off the game, and also a good 20, so he'd be looking for that big score to lead his side to a very respectable total as well.
Picking him off easily, picking him off sweetly, and it's just the ones approach that will be adopted by Bayardine and Zondo. 4 from the over, 74 for 3. The Indians have bowled well in conditions that were conducive, certainly with the new ball. Siddarth Kaul and his new ball partner Thakur were impressive, but Kaul particularly got 2 wickets. Basil Thampi almost looked like he tried to be a little bit too quick. He used the short ball more than his seamer partners, and Shankar's just bowled the 3 overs. We've seen the first over of spin. Still a slip in place, bowling from the centre of excellence end, where there has been a little bit more bounce. Short and wide and cut comfortably out to the sweeper.
Yes, he's just really struggled to find that optimum length on this wicket. We've seen, as the overs have progressed, not as much swing or seam anymore, and you want to bowl a lot tighter line. Maybe slightly pull your length back so it doesn't become so easy to hit through the line. He's just slightly struggled to find that length.
Oh, a cleaner piece of fielding there. The running's been good, but a cleaner piece of fielding there might have just found Zondo wanting.
Important piece of batsmanship, the running between the wickets, especially when you're under pressure and a lot of boundaries are coming your way, just to keep that intent.
Nicely turned, beautifully played. It was a lovely deflection. It looked so simple in its execution, but the knowledge that fine leg was quite square was so important to that stroke. He just let it run off the face for a very comfortable boundary.
Yes, and sometimes it's just that pressure which you transfer onto the bowler in the fielding side, which just this time causes a little bit of ill discipline when he bowls too straight. But good touch here by Captain Kaya Zondo.
Healthy partnership, this. Smeared away into the deep. Not quick enough to be short on this surface is Shankar. Kaya Zondo, for the most part, sits pretty deep in the crease. He really does like to get right back onto the stumps. You can see there, his front foot is behind the popping crease. Something of its unique to his own technique. A scramble single will bring up the 50 partnership between these two.
Yes, a very important mini milestone for these two. They would like to continue this for a lot longer and progress this partnership well over 100 to get their side into a meaningful total which is defendable in the afternoon.
This hasn't been a good over from Shankar. There's been a mixed bag of leg side, of short. There might just be the end of his ration for the time being. 20 overs gone, South Africa progressing now at 83 for 3. You just wonder, he looks disappointed with himself, and so he should be, because it's starting to release the pressure. We may start to see spin at both ends. Important partnership. Slow to begin with, but now starting to gain momentum. And it's important that they're in for a good 15, 16 more overs together before they can really start to think of playing with gay abandon. Milden Pretorius capable, Pangiso no mug with a bat, but it's a longer tail than SAA would like. Axar Patel, slip now gone.
Yes, Africa, they've gone with a slightly more aggressive option of playing the all-rounders, and I think they'll come in handy later this afternoon with 5 specialist bowlers.
Well, he's conceded a wide, but in a sense he might be somewhat relieved, because that wasn't a great delivery, short and down the leg side. Zondo probably a little disappointed he missed out.
Yes, it was a scoring opportunity, especially with your square leg that's been brought into the circle. He just needed to get some bat on that to guarantee a a couple more runs.
Good fielding off his own bowling. Almost anticipated the direction of the Zondo stroke.
I'll do it.
Nicely angled away for one. They're pushing hard, but that's all they'll get.
Be very interested to see how Axar, Patel and Chahal bowl in tandem. Normally it's not an option you'll go for two bowlers that spin the ball away, but one is a wrist spin and one a finger spinner.
The slip comes in for Bahadin. Oh, nicely turned away. It was pushed through down the leg side. This will be a teasing chase for the man at 45. And he just wins the race. They back though with some good running for a third. Another nice deflection from Farhan Bahadin. Just a period here, Kruger, where India are letting South Africa get away. It was an indifferent over from Shankar, where a boundary was picked up easily. And here, Axar Patel hasn't been on the top of his game.
Yes, Brett, just a slight change in momentum, and normally the best way with that is extras or easy singles. But it's a sort of tendency South Africa has needed as we come to the conclusion of the 21st over. South Africa 89 for 3.
You know, it's important as a partnership develops from a fielding side's perspective is to still try and retain pressure of runlessness. If not, you're not penetrating and taking wickets. That's obviously the best way to keep a scoring rate down, which is now looking a lot more positive. At this rate, 2-1-2, should get better than that. 6 and over, 263, defendable.
I think it is defendable, yes. I think it's important that South Africa they've got two very good spinning options in Tabray Shamsi and Aaron Pangiso. So I believe 260 is a very defendable total.
So this is an important phase of the match now that you were mentioning might arise. Spin in tandem. We've seen the left arm spin of Axar Patel, and now we've got the wrist spin of Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal into the attack. We've seen him in the IPL being quite penetrative. It's a different game, obviously, the 50-over game, but his career record suggests potential, averaging a nice low 24 as a spinner. It is his favourite stroke, Kaya Zondo. He will cut on width, not necessarily length. He backs himself to hit the ball square. His stance and his way he positions himself deep in the crease is almost saying, you give me anything to cut and I'll have you away. Ease down the ground for one. Field is interesting for the wrist spinner. Slip in place as you'd expect. They're looking for the wicket, and then the four in the ring in customary positions. The men out on the onside, there's no one for the sweep.
Easy.
Now, I'm not sure either Farhan Bahadin or Kaya Zondo are big sweepers, and it's always a chance against the wrist spin.
He's very much a leg spinner's field at the start of his bowling spell, in outfield, still protecting the boundary to allow him to get into a rhythm, while still interesting they've taken the slip out actually.
Yeah, it's just, I know South Africa are starting to get momentum here, but there seems to be too easy to defend rather than still search for a wicket by Manish Pandey, the Indian captain.
Yes, the way the game's almost play these days, the best way of slowing the run rates by getting wickets, and especially during this middle period. It is a big strength of theirs, their slow bowlers.
Good over from Chahal. Nice control, good pace for the wrist spin. Not a lot of purchase, but he's conceded just 2. 22 gone. Recovering somewhat. 91 for 3. Read minds there, Kruger. What would the discussion be between the two? Pause with that thought. We'll just look at the bowling figures. Siddarth Kaul was very impressive. Good pace, bounce, incredibly accurate. Bowled to a 7-2 field for the most part. The new ball certainly helped by early morning conditions. The change bowlers is by no stretch remotely as impressive as the new ball, and now we've got spin. Axar Patel to Fine Bardeen.
But I think the important thing is to keep growing this partnership. Keep it at something as simple as that. There's enough time to bat here, and just so much emphasis on their partnership, working together. It's a great opportunity for these two, both senior players, both in leadership positions. And almost the easier you make it, if you work in pairs, you forget about that individual aspect of batting. So grow the partnership, keep it as simple as that.
And goes back from mid-on to long-on for Zondo. They're going to scamper a single. Zondo's going to have to go or throw into the wrong end. Wasn't a particularly good one anyway. It's interesting when Bahadin's on strike, they've only got 3 boundary patrollers, a man out at deep mid-wicket, long off and cover. It might be an opportunity. Not taking it at the moment, happy to still take the one, but just to get the man back and create more ones opportunity, just to chip one over the top there, just once, come down the wicket. Often it is a chosen tactic of an in batsman. That's really good running. It's almost as if the discussion has been, if we lean on anything to the offside, they're sitting, we'll take the run. The backing up is good, the response is good, and a bowler getting frustrated because it shouldn't be one. Tidy from Patel, 14 off his 3 overs, 95 for 3 as we approach the halfway stage.
I think what the captain's also done really well here, he's known what fielders to bring into the circle to entice Bahadin to go for that extra boundary option.
Here's the story of this A-try series. Australia involved in their contractual disputes meant that they had to withdraw from this series, and in came Afghanistan A at late notice, and they were pummeled, as you'd expect, by the bigger cricketing nations of South Africa and India. They lost 4 games. South Africa and India exchanged victories, and you see they were narrow ones. First one, South Africa winning by 2 wickets and a low scorer, 150 was the target, and South Africa A losing to India A in the last encounter between the two, also by 1 wicket. In the air! No ball called, no ball called. Can you believe it? What a gift. Wow. We're just saying Zondo's not really a sweeper, and he goes for a shot that he's not accustomed to or comfortable with, and it loops to the man at 45, and I'm not sure that he heard a call. I think he was just playing the stroke, Kruger.
No, you called it, Brett. It is a very tough shot to play against a spin on a wicket that's slightly slower. But also interesting to see in modern day cricket how the free hit is executed.
High in the air it goes. It's a big slog. Man getting underneath it. It won't matter at all. They'll come back for the second. What a bonus that is for Kaya Zondo and South Africa A. He's been caught 2 balls in a row, and neither of them have counted. And in the midst of it all, 100 has come up. Drama. Here's the moment that was so important to Yuzvendra Chahal. The no ball, can we, oh, not the best angle, but Sam Nagajski, the Australian umpire, He's had a look at that and deemed it as a no ball. And look where he's fetching it from. Fraught with danger against wrist spin and some bounce.
Come on, let's yeah, come on, boy. Energy up, let's go, yaar. No issues, yeah.
Goes over cover, there's a man out there. Just get a sense, and maybe I'm trying to read too much into a situation, that the skipper, Kai Zondo, as relieved as he is by getting the reprieve, he's just got a bit rattled that he got himself out and he's gone, I shouldn't have done that, and now he's not playing as controlled as he has for the duration of this innings.
Yes, it's important when we speak about those partnerships that it's not just one in numbers, but important for a guy like Fahn Beardine to offer his support, that calmness which comes with a lot of experience as well, just to work together, keep reminding him, look, we're doing a great job here, keep building this partnership.
7 off the over now, so there's no need to take any undue risk at all. That's his area. Good over for South Africa in more ways than one, not just the 8 from it, but the no ball wicket that Yuzvendra Chahal gave away. 24 gone, 103 for 3, and it's slow progress, but it's a recovery, a good one from South Africa A. From 32 for 3 they were at one stage.
If we see it, the 50 splits, first 15, naturally being slightly slower from 87 deliveries. South Africa also losing the majority of their wickets during that period, but they've picked it up nicely to just over a run a ball. We want to see that progressing as the innings goes deeper as well.
Both men in their 30s need to press on to something of more substance. Does use the crease, does Kai Zondo, where he takes his stance. He'll get outside off stump, he'll get deep in the crease. Sometimes he'll show the bowler all three. Found a line, found a length, found a pace, probably more importantly, Axar Patel.
Yes, he's slightly quicker through the air than the wrist spinner. You can just something building here. You can almost feel a release coming somewhere.
Oh, it's good fielding, important fielding. Just building the dots here. You've got a captain who's just got a little bit rattled, almost getting himself out in the last over. Now a string of dots. It's almost a bit of a pressure switch. Whistling through the overs. Very good over from Axar Patel. Good control, good variation, and he's bowled a maiden. Halfway stage, 103 for 3.
I think it's really important. We actually timed Axar Patel during previous games, and he bowled 1 over in 70 seconds. That as a batsman, you take your time and play at your own pace. It's important not to get rushed. It can rush your decision making.
Oh, umpires and match referees the world over would be delighted to have a bowler bowling an over in 70 seconds, going on at 12 overs to the hour. I mean, what's going on? Yuzvendra Chahal. Just a good passage for India A here. Opportunity created in the last over, sadly from overstepping though, it was negated. And then a maiden. So a bit of pressure building once again on South Africa A.
Yes, and as you see, the captain, he brought long on up into the circle once again for Beardine, almost enticing him to hit against the spin, which we saw a chance being created against Kai Zondo earlier on.
Oh my word. Premeditation can sometimes make you look a little foolish. Getting down to reverse sweep and seeing, oh, I should have been in the sweep position, and having to alter to an almost quasi-defensive stroke.
ठीक है कोई नहीं चल मेरे कैपी तगड़ा होके जरा
Goes again. This time he's got something on it. Taking a bit of risk now is Zondo, just to try and release the shackles. They're going to come back for the third. That's good running from Fan Bardin. But just there's an element of, dare I say, desperation starting to creep into what has been a very controlled inning so far from Zondo.
Yes, I think there's a real need, especially after this ball, just for the two batsmen to get together, to reassess things. Both have got to start here, and the importance of them kicking on with just strong cricketing options is going to be important.
Better. 26 overs gone, and this partnership continues to get South Africa A back into the game. 110 for 3. You just get a feeling, Kruger, that for Zondo just at the moment is not 100% sure as to the method that they want to use against these two spinners. It's almost they've been playing so sensibly, knocking it around, taking ones, and he's just because a few dots have built up, he's gone, oh, I don't know, I've got to try something a little flash.
Yes, you've almost got to work your way back from what is a good score on this pitch. And we see, obviously, the spinners are going to play a huge part here. That, for me, why it's so important for Far Benadine, that affirmation that they're doing a very good job here, just to continue.
Turned away for one. Nice, sensible stuff from Bahadin. Nelson on the board. Feet will be up in the dressing room. Those superstitious cricketers. Oh, are they still superstitious? He'll still just be having that little demon on his shoulder. That's 7 dot balls that Axar Patel has bowled to him in a row now.
Absolutely, you can definitely feel the tension building a little bit here, and just for him to stick to those strong options, which has worked for him. Keep it pretty simple. We've seen the drop and run be really effective to him, and the long off option as well.
Not that they're looking for boundaries, but it has just been a while since they got anything free, and that's pretty much since Spinner's been bowling at each end. Oh my word. There was a degree of inevitability about it. He's just started to lose concentration in the last couple of overs, and that is got to be a very disappointingly soft dismissal for Zondo. Getting down on one knee, trying to sweep, and just lobbing it straight to the man at 45. Massive disappointment for South Africa A. Delight for Axar Patel, a gift wicket for the Indians. Well, that's a disappointing demise from a promising innings from Zondo. He's gone for 39. South Africa A, 112 for 4. Vian Mulder, the young 19-year-old prodigy, is the new man. An important innings in this particular tri-series, that's 66. when he restored things with Heinrich Claessens on that day, and he's got to play an innings of similar substance. He's out there because of this.
Yes, we spoke earlier about the importance of him looking at the strong options that has worked thus far against the spin. We've seen the slog sweep against a leg spin. It didn't quite come off. He used it where he got dropped and against a free hit, and he goes for the sweep. Unfortunately, this time to bring Wiaan Mulder to the crease, a very exciting young talent.
Young being the operative word, though, because he's just 19, so inexperienced, talented, yes, but he's in a pressure situation, and Faan Bahadin's going to have to guide him through this. Well, he gets a nice freebie to get off the mark.
I think a guy like Aaron Pangiso can also really pay careful attention as to what pace Axar Patel is bowling here, what has been effective during this period where he dominated against the partnership between Bahadin and Zondo.
It's the end of a successful over from Axar Patel. South Africa now have to start all over again. The partnership has been ended. It's 114 for 4. Rocked early by the new ball on a pitch that was slightly responsive, and in the midst of a very good spell from Siddarth Kaul. They lost 3 early for 32. Zondo and Bahadin were restoring the damage before Zondo just went into a period of flagging concentration, and ultimately it led to his demise, despite the fact he'd been given a chance or two in his 30s. Bahadin soldiers on, this time with Mulder, and time for a change of voice. Dumisa Makalima, John Kent.
Easy.
Bahadin accumulating very, very well through this period. His partner just lost his head in the end with dot balls accumulating and some options he tried that they weren't his A game, you would say. The spin, this has been the strong point for India in this tournament. Very experienced. They both played a lot of ODI cricket, T20 cricket. Chahal, Axar Patel. This is where they just try to bring it back. Not that they needed to bring it back at all. Things were pretty tight. They lost early wickets, South Africa A. The backup seam options weren't the best from India A, it must be said, after the 2 opening bowlers. Skidding on, slips in position, positive captaincy.
Yeah, just disappointed to lose that Zondo in the manner in which he lost his wicket.
Flatter, just skidding on. Yeah, I agree with you. There was a 45 around the corner for the spinner, and he opened the face up and he tried to hit it in the air, the lap shot in the air, and the shot didn't seem to be on, surely, with a 45 there. Total misunderstanding. Mulder hit it very firmly to the fielder, so it got to him quickly. The single was never on. Bahadin screaming back at him, saying no run.
No signals here.
Change in field. Quickly send back.
कर दिया. Easy.
Smothered, good fielding. Oh, there's a miscommunication. It's going to be a run out. Oh my goodness. That is the last thing South Africa A needed. He hit it straight to the man. It was good fielding, diving to his left, and a slight misfield. And Mulder took off and was sent back halfway in the pitch and found himself stranded to be run out in a dismal miscommunication between the two. This is how it transpires. Smothers at good fielding at short cover. He gets up and Mulder is in no man's land, being sent back by his partner. Yeah, Mulder will go for one.
When Pretorius arrives at the crease, 28 years old, part of the Champions Trophy squad in England, and he's in, and there's a bit of pressure on right now. Our spin twins are doing a good job. 100 750s, strike rate of 97.
Very handy batsman down the order. Twin Pretorius.
Successful over for Chahal. 115 for 5. Rocked early, Hendricks, Davids and Clausen knocked over very early with that opening spell from India. Zondo, Behardin, bit of rebuilding, and Zondo went out to a soft dismissal. Behardin's just lost another partner, Mulder, with a mix-up. He's gone for 1, so this has been a familiar area in this tournament where, as you say, a clump of wickets have been falling in certain areas of the game.
Yeah, there's been a problem throughout the South African innings that wickets at regular intervals have been falling. No momentum to build handy partnerships. Verdi needs support. Too many clusters of wickets in a short space of time.
Quick single. I'll tell you what, it's disconcerting for a batsman when you first come in is when you hit the ball and you call for a 1 and the keeper or a bowler or the fielder shout. It can put you off. This was where Mulder cracked it through the offside and knocked on by the fielder. Good single, Behardin. But the fielder dived. He made a good stop, but the ball didn't go very far away from him. A couple of steps, he got up, picked it up, and threw it back to the keeper. So there was a knock-on, but it wasn't really a knock-on that went too far away from the fielder. So he recovered, and Behardin wasn't really interested from the beginning.
Yeah, I think rightfully so. There was not quite a single there. It was just good fielding. But it wasn't a definite single where you could call for a run. And rightfully so, standing his ground and sending his partner back. Just total miscommunication from the duo. But Behardin's still there, sitting on 39.
That's it. Behardin's done a good job. He's not had too many dot balls delivered to him. He's rotated well. Just needs a willing partner here to get through his remaining overs and try and have a bit of a flurry towards the back end. They can't really play with too much freedom. Lost early wickets. Need to just try to take it a bit deeper. End of the 29th. 120 for 5.
They've bowled well, the Indians, and they've enforced silly mistakes from that South African batting lineup. Henry Davids at the top of the order, getting a good start, but not enough. Farhan Behardin sits on 40, facing 57 ball, and desperately needs a partner who's going to support him at the under end. And Dwayne Pretorius is more than handy to do that job. But they need to take this deep into towards the 50th over so that they can get out and actually launch and have a base to play from towards the end.
Oh, jeepers. Airborne for a short period of time. They've got 2 men on that extra cover line. They're quite close together. So there's 3 fielders on the offside. That's where they want him to hit.
asking questions. Chahal.
Come on, boys.
He's one to turn a bit. He's generally used the ball that skids on straight. Trying to get that LBW. That one a bit slower. Did get a bit of purchase.
Iyer thoda.
Good piece of bowling and good anticipation by that mid-wicket fielder. Saw Behardine shaping up to work it, and he moved very well. Axar Patel. Good package he is. That one's going to be wider, surely. A lot slower through there, that one.
Trying to give it a little bit of air and slowing it down. Trying to enforce a mistake, but just does not quite get the direction right. Lots of turn. Stays with the ball. Farhan.
See the way this partnership has started there. Fair bit of caution. That's some turn there. First we've really seen today. But look what's to come. There's Pengiso.
The slog sweep against a leg spin, it didn't quite come off. He used it where he got dropped and against a free hit, and he goes for the sweep. Unfortunately, this time to bring Vian Mulder to the crease, a very exciting young talent.
Young being the operative word, though, because he's just 19, so inexperienced, talented, yes, but in a pressure situation, and Fine Bardeen's going to have to guide him through this. Well, he gets a nice freebie to get off the mark.
I think a guy like Aaron Pangiso really pay careful attention as to what pace Axar Patel is bowling here, what has been effective during where he dominated against the Bardeen and Sanju.
It's the end of a successful over from Axar Patel. South Africa now have to start all over again. The partnership has been ended. It's 114 for 4. Rocked early by the new ball on a pitch that was slightly responsive and in the midst of a very good spell from Siddarth Kaul. They lost 3 early for 32. Zondo and Bardeen were restoring the damage before Zondo just went into a period of flagging concentration, and ultimately it led to his demise despite the fact he'd been given a chance or two in his 30s. Bardeen soldiers on, this time with Mulder, and time for a change of voice. Dumisa Makalima, John Kent.
Easy.
Bardeen accumulating very, very well through this period. His partner just lost his head in the end with dot balls accumulating and some options he tried that they weren't his A game, you would say. The spin, this has been the strong point for India in this tournament. Very experienced. They both played a lot of ODI cricket, T20 cricket. Chahal, Axar Patel. This is where they just try to bring it back. Not that they needed to bring it back at all. Things were pretty tight. They lost early wickets, South Africa A. The backup seam options weren't the best from India A, it must be said, after the 2 opening bowlers. Skidding on, slips in position, positive captaincy.
Yeah, just disappointed to lose that Zondo in the manner in which he lost his wicket.
Flatter, just skidding on. Yeah, I agree with you. There was a 45 round the corner for the spinner, and he opened the face up and he tried to hit it in the air, the lap shot in the air, and the shot didn't seem to be on, surely, with a 45 there. Total misunderstanding. Mulder hit it very firmly to the fielder, so it got to him quickly. The single was never on. The Bardeen screaming back at him, saying no run.
No singles here.
Change in field. Quickly send back.
कर दिया. Easy.
Smothered, good fielding. Oh, there's a miscommunication. It's going to be a run out. Oh my goodness. That is the last thing South Africa A needed. He hit it straight to the man. It was good fielding, diving to his left, and a slight misfield. And Mulder took off and was sent back halfway in the pitch and found himself stranded to be run out in a dismal miscommunication between the two. This is how it transpires. Smothers at good fielding at short cover. He gets up and Mulder is in no man's land, being sent back by his partner. Yeah, Mulder will go for 1.
Twenty Pretorius arrives at the crease, 28 years old, part of the Champions Trophy squad in England, and he's in, and there's a bit of pressure on right now. Our spin twins are doing a good job. 100 750s, strike rate of 97.
Very handy batsman down the order. Twin Pretorius.
Yeah.
Successful over for Chahal. 115 for 5. Rocked early, Hendricks, Davids and Clausen knocked over very early with that opening spell from India. Zondo, Behardin, bit of rebuilding, and Zondo went out to a soft dismissal. Behardin's just lost another partner, Mulder, with a mix-up. He's gone for 1, so this has been a familiar area in this tournament where, as you say, a clump of wickets have been falling in certain areas of the game.
Yeah, there's been a problem throughout the South African innings that wickets at regular intervals have been falling. No momentum to build handy partnerships. Verdi needs support. Too many clusters of wickets in a short space of time.
Quick single. I'll tell you what, it's disconcerting for a batsman when you first come in is when you hit the ball and you call for a 1 and the keeper or a bowler or the fielder shout, it can put you off. This was where Mulder cracked it through the offside and knocked on by the fielder. Good single, Behardin. But the fielder dived. He made a good stop, but the ball didn't go very far away from him. A couple of steps, he got up, picked it up and threw it back to the keeper. So there was a knock on, but it wasn't really a knock on that went too far away from the fielder. So he recovered, and Behardin wasn't really interested from the beginning.
Yeah, I think rightfully so. There was not quite a single there. It was just good fielding. It wasn't a definite single where you could call for a run, and rightfully so, standing his ground and sending his partner back. Just total miscommunication from the duo. But Behardin's still there, sitting on 39.
That's it, Behardin's done a good job. He's not had too many dot balls delivered to him. He's rotated well. Just needs a willing partner here to get through his remaining overs and try and have a bit of a flurry towards the back end. They can't really play with too much freedom. Lost early wickets. Need to just try to take it a bit deeper. End of the 29th. 120 for 5.
They've bowled well, the Indians, and they've enforced silly mistakes from that South African batting lineup. Henry Davids at the top of the order, getting a good start, but not enough. Farhan Behardin sits on 40, facing 57 ball, and desperately needs a partner who's going to support him at the under end. And Dwayne Pretorius is more than handy to do that job. But they need to take this deep into towards the 50th over so that they can get out and actually launch and have a base to play from towards the end.
Oh, jeepers. Airborne for a short period of time. They've got 2 men on that extra cover line. They're quite close together. So there's 3 fielders on the offside. That's where they want him to hit.
asking questions. Chahal.
Come on, boys.
He's one to turn a bit. He's generally used the ball that skids on straight. Trying to get that LBW. That one a bit slower. Did get a bit of purchase.
Iyer thoda.
Good piece of bowling and good anticipation by that mid-wicket fielder. Saw Behardine shaping up to work it, and he moved very well. Axar Patel. Good package he is. That one's going to be wided, surely. A lot slower through there, that one.
Trying to give it a little bit of air and slowing it down. Trying to enforce a mistake, but just does not quite get the direction right. Lots of turn. Stays with the ball. Farhan.
See the way this partnership has started, though. Fair bit of caution. That's some turn there. First we've really seen today. But look what's to come. There's Pengiso.
To be run out in a dismal miscommunication between the two. This is how it transpires. Smothers at good fielding at short cover. He gets up and Mulder is in no man's land, being sent back by his partner. Yeah, Mulder will go for one.
When Pretorius arrives at the crease, 28 years old, part of the Champions Trophy squad in England, and he's in, and there's a bit of pressure on right now. Our spin twins are doing a good job. 100, 750s, Strike rate at 97.
Very handy batsman down the order. Twin Pretorius.
Successful over for Chahal. 115 for 5. Rocked early, Hendricks. Davids and Clausen knocked over very early with that opening spell from India. Zondo, Behardin, bit of rebuilding, and Zondo went out to a soft dismissal. Behardin's just lost another partner, Mulder, with a mix-up. He's gone for 1, so this has been a familiar area in this tournament where, as you say, a clump of wickets have been falling in certain areas of the game.
Yeah, there's been a problem throughout the South African innings that wickets at regular intervals have been falling. No momentum to build handy partnerships. Verdi needs support. Too many clusters of wickets in a short space of time.
Quick single. I'll tell you what, is disconcerting for a batsman when you first come in is when you hit the ball and you call for a 1 and the keeper or a bowler or the fielder shout. It can put you off. This was where Mulder cracked it through the offside and knocked on by the fielder. Good single, Behardin. But the fielder dived. He made a good stop, but the ball didn't go very far away from him. A couple of steps, he got up, picked it up and threw it back to the keeper. So there was a knock-on, but it wasn't really a knock-on that went too far away from the fielder. So he recovered, and Behardin wasn't really interested from the beginning.
Yeah, I think rightfully so. There was not quite a single there. It was just good fielding. It wasn't a definite single where you could call for a run, and rightfully so, standing his ground and sending his partner back. Just total miscommunication from the duo. But Behardin's still there, sitting on 39.
That's it, Behardin's done a good job. He's not had too many dot balls delivered to him. He's rotated well. Just needs a willing partner here to get through his remaining overs and try and have a bit of a flurry towards the back end. They can't really play with too much freedom. Lost early wickets. Need to just try to take it a bit deeper. End of the 29th. 120 for 5.
They've bowled well, the Indians, and they've enforced silly mistakes from that South African batting lineup. Henry Davids at the top of the order, getting a good start, but not enough. Farhan Behardin sits on 40, facing 57 ball, and desperately needs a partner who's going to support him at the under end. And Dwayne Pretorius is more than to do that job. But they need to take this deep into towards the 50th over so that they can get out and actually launch and have a base to play from towards the end.
Oh, jeepers. Airborne for a short period of time. They've got 2 men on that extra cover line. They're quite close together. So there's 3 fielders on the offside. That's where they want him to hit.
Asking questions, Chahal.
Come on, boys.
want to turn a bit. He's generally used the...
Dwayne Pretorius, he took the initiative at previous over, but this time Biardin does it beautifully as well.
It's interesting that Manish Pandey, the Indian ace skipper, is keeping mid-on and mid-off up for the most part. Just a good passage over the last 2.5 overs. 20 runs scored. At a good pace. The last 2.5 overs, 14 deliveries, 20 runs. And it hasn't been with any risk really, it's just been 20 runs taking scored. Opportunity, calculated batting. Good cricket by these pace. 14 deliveries, 20 runs. And it hasn't been with any risk really, it's just been perhaps not as calculated. Taking opportunity, calculated
Once
batting.
Again we see from
Good
the centre of excellence in just that little bit of extra bounce, which has deceived the batsman for the most part of this day.
It's quite a grandiose term that, isn't it? Centre of excellence. Puts a bit of pressure on yourself perhaps when you name something a centre of excellence. It better produce excellence.
The ones who name it, it's easy. It's the guys who got to produce from the centre of excellence.
There's the pressure, that's it.
Again we see from the centre of excellence in just that little bit of extra bounce, which has deceived the batsman for the most part of this day.
Quite a grandiose term that, isn't it? Centre of excellence. Puts a bit of pressure on yourself when you name something the centre of excellence. It better produce excellence.
The ones who name it, it's easy. It's the guys who got to produce from the centre of excellence.
There's the pressure, that's it. Adrian Holstock signals the introduction of power play number 3.